southeast Texas region all the way across and through Houston to San Antonio, the big problem is supply at the lifting point of the petroleum products terminals due to refinery shutdowns dealing with the storm and the rising water circumstance. So even if we could get trucks to the terminals, the problem now is no product availability. And then secondly, once that does come online, then we'll start dealing with the logistics of the problem of getting fuel trucked across the roadways because of the flood circumstance. In a lot of areas, it's still impassable. But first responders will be first to get fuel, and then we get it out to our independent owner-operator states across the state.
So at this point, do you have locations that simply do not have fuel, or do you have any guidance from your suppliers when you're going to have a supply?
Mike, what's happening at the moment, it's a slow turn-on of stations back in the market. Houston has sunshine now. Biggest logistical problem I've ever seen. And the ones that have fuel, they are pumping fuel, and they're pumping a lot of fuel. And I'm quite certain most will run out, unfortunately, unless we can get a stream of supply on and get it loaded and get it to them. I'm sitting in Beaumont, Texas right now. It's raining substantially and has been for 3 days. Houston has sunshine. San Antonio region has sunshine, but we have the same problem in San Antonio is product supply to the terminal in light of the Gulf Coast refiners having to shut down in a precautionary circumstance.
Now, Harvey, the mayor of Houston said his understanding was there would not be a fuel shortage, that he had talked to Exxon and they had stockpiled some product going into the weekend. So perhaps that's available to draw on. I don't know, if that's been affected since. Also, what's happening with prices there? How many gasoline stations in your area can even open?
I guess if you pulled a handful of 10 out of the air, identify 2. It's just kind of shoelacing. For example, Interstate 10 between Beaumont and Houston is frankly closed, although you can divert. If you got a good enough guts to take some 2-laners north or south, you might get there. So the interstate chain of stores and truck stops is very hamstrung right now.
And so, once again, you don't really have a good sense of when any of these shuttered refiners are going to come back online. I mean, at this point, I know we're sort of assessing all the damage at the various plants, but you're just waiting to hear until some of that supply reaches the terminal?
Exactly. I can tell you, and I've spoken to every one of our refiner reps this morning from about 5 a.m. To now, and every refiner is poised and ready to reactivate. Certainly from Corpus Christi coming forward, there's 3 big refineries in that town. You've got 3 big refineries in Port Arthur, Texas. The Pasadena and LaPorte region is mainly products terminals that supply Houston, north and south. And it's just a fact of this weather finally getting on board land and getting out of the Gulf, and the water, rising water stopping and starting to go down. It's just a logistics matter, but the refiners are staged and ready. And I feel like in the next 24 to 36 hours in the state of Texas, we'll be flowing. I'm not going to say 100%, but 75 to 85%, I think, is a realistic number. It's a big job to turn one off, and it's a bigger job to turn one back on. But it won't be long, I feel.